So when people tell you young horses shouldn't be ridden by unexperienced people, I mean, what does this mean? I was not experienced when I bought my first young horse, and people all told me, "You're crazy. You don't have to do this. And come on, you need a schoolmaster." And I said, "But I already rode a lot of schoolmasters and good horses and things. I mean, I'm quite good as a rider. When is the day coming when I'm good enough to ride a young horse? The day never comes if you don't decide it for yourself. I mean, if you feel like you're riding quite well, you have some experience in different, I don't know, areas. In my case, it was jumping and dressage. I did something, and also experiences outside, like yeah, just riding around and having my long trips around. Sometimes 2 or 3 days. We went everywhere with the horses, and also cross country, endurance. I did a lot of different things, and also vaulting. I was part of the Italian team for some years, so I was quite, I mean, yeah, a complete good rider. I felt like the system wasn't really made to make you a very good rider. The only way to go forward and to really level up, jumping higher and to doing higher competitions, was change your horse. I mean, get a new horse and do the next level. And I said, no, I don't want to change my horse. I want to do things with my horse I have now. I want to, I mean, we're not arrived. He has so much more potential. I have so much more potential, I think. I mean, we're not aiming to the Olympics. I know he doesn't have that big movements, and I'm not a champion right now. But I know we can do better than what we did at the time. And nobody was willing to follow us in our dreams, in our little dreams. And this was such a shame. And I was determined to find my own way. And I went to Germany and I followed for some time an amazing rider, very complete rider, an Olympic medalist. And I just watched her riding and training her young horses. And I discovered more in those few weeks than in my whole equestrian experience, like 20 years or something. Okay, 50 maybe at the time. Really good years. I mean, the ones I really had lessons and teachers and horses and everything. And it was amazing because a world opened in front of me, and I had all the answers I was searching for such a long time, all together in front of me, finally. And I was like, I always knew there were answers to everything, but why did nobody tell me? Why are people not willing to make you really good? Why is the only way to become better change horse and buy a more expensive horse? And a very expensive horse. I mean, if you want to go up, like in jumping or dressage, even only at the medium level, you have to spend so much money, crazy money, to do medium level. Not even, I don't know, not really big things. So, and I only aimed at the medium level, but I was not, I never, I don't know, I didn't want my parents to spend like 30, 50K for a horse for medium level. And I said, okay, I will buy a young horse with a great potential and train it on my own. And of course, all the people around me tried to really, I don't know, stop me. But I did it, and this was the most amazing experience. I didn't do amazing, great things with this horse, but the young horse taught me more than any other experience and than any schoolmaster. Because what happens on the schoolmasters? Oh, you feel the great feelings. Yeah, this means a horse is well trained. Okay, you feel that nice collected movements. And you have those, oh, he starts immediately. Amazing. But the first time you experience a young horse or a horse that is not so well trained, it seemed, I remember the first time I sit on her and was like, she was 3 or 4, I don't remember. She was already rideable, and you could sit on her, but it was like she didn't know anything, what the leg means and what all the aids means, nothing. So I was, okay, I'm gonna find out how you teach everything to a horse. But I was ignorant at the time, and I didn't know what it means having a horse that doesn't know what the leg means. And I was like, she's so lazy. I bought, I don't know, it's a donkey, it's not a horse. What did I buy here? I thought she had some potential. And this is what my first, light bulb moments came. and where I followed that person in Germany, and I really tried to understand all the steps. And I said, okay, it's normal at the beginning. All the horses don't react to the leg at the beginning. They first have to learn, I don't know, the vocal aids when you work on the lunge, for example. And once they learn the command from the ground, then you can like start to teach it from the saddle, or you have to find a way to make the horse understand that he has to go or she has to go. And when she goes, you praise her, and she will understand and connect and say, okay, she wants this from me when she comes with the leg. So I started to learn from those first little easy things how a horse learns, and how this connection and this communication starts, and how this builds such a strong relationship between the horse and the person. Because if it is like I ask you something and you react, and I try to understand what your reaction means, and then I try to communicate better if you didn't understand what I wanted from you, then it's a fair communication. It's not, I want this from you and you do it, and if you don't do it, I will hurt you or something like this. Because a lot of times it's like this. The horses don't do what they should do, and bam, you have to do what I want. Otherwise, you will see. I never wanted this. I always wanted to understand, but it's not easy because the frustration is high if the communication lacks at the beginning, and you say, "Oh, he doesn't do anything. No reaction comes. Why? What am I doing wrong? Everything." No, maybe not. But she is not yet. She doesn't understand you yet. You have to teach her what you want from her. So she has to understand first, and then she understands, but she's not able to do it. Maybe she wants to, but she can't because she's not ready physically. So you have to understand when it's the right moment to do what. And this is the next step. Understanding how they learn, and then understand the length of the process. How long, what time is needed in order to understand things, in order to develop the muscles to do the things, preparing the whole upper physical structure in order to bring you as a rider, because the horse is not made to bring us with our heavy central position. So the back of the horse goes like this, where we're sitting on it. So we have to do something to build up the structure and to really reinforce the horse first, to prepare the whole body so that the horse can bring us for a long time and do what we want him to do without any health issues, because you can also destroy a horse very quickly. A young horse is they're amazing because you can teach them everything and nothing is made wrong since there, but you have the possibility to do everything good and to build a really solid foundation and to really be like a physiotherapist for your horse. Or if you don't know what you're doing, of course, things can go very wrong very quickly. So this is why they tell you you shouldn't ride a young horse if you don't know what to do. The thing is, most of the professionals who train young horses, maybe they seem to be very good riders and they seem very professional, but I noticed that only a few of them is really interested in giving a solid foundation to the horses, because it takes a long time and a lot of patience and a lot of building moments that are not so sensational to see. And most of the people want to see results immediately. They want to see the horse beautiful when it's 4. They want to go out to do tournaments and championships at 4. It's not possible. I mean, you can do it, but you will destroy the horse because you're working too soon, too much information, and the horse physically cannot resist to this, and mentally neither, because it's always, there has to be a balance. And it's not only a physical thing. It's like with the humans. I mean, you cannot teach a child things he has to learn in university too soon and too many things together. At a certain point, the child will explode. Maybe he's super intelligent, he's like a genius, but you cannot treat a baby or a very little child like an adult, pretending he's following at the same pace as an adult the thing you will teach him. So it's a complete different level. And after all those young horses experience, because after my first test, I also rode a lot of horses from other people. They gave me different horses to train. And I had a lot of opportunities to learn a lot from every single situation and horse, and things worked good. And the horses, it was exactly going the way I wanted it to go. It was crazy. I just followed the steps of those I learned from, and I just replicated everything exactly the same way, and things worked out exactly the same way. Of course, the potential of the horses were a little different from the Olympic champions, but the horses reacted exactly the same way. They were supple exactly the same way. They were nice and friendly and easy to ride and really together with the rider, with me. And it was so nice. And I felt like I was a champion, not because I was doing big things, but because I was making the horses feel amazing, feel great with me together. And they developed their physical condition in an amazing way. They were beautiful to see. At 4, at 5, they started to develop their muscles and they really became nice horses. And then at 5, I started to bring them out and to try something in some dressage or jumping, and everything went exactly like at home and in a very easy way. So really fluent courses, and the dressage was nice. I never did dressage before, only if I had to. I didn't like dressage before. It was so boring and I never understood the whole sense of it. But training the horses really taught me what it's all about. Dressage, I mean, the word dressage means training, horse training, basic training. Okay. So you cannot not do dressage. It's like the basic of everything. And I really learned to appreciate it. And not only I used it, I started to use it as a like my blueprint to go forward. I started with a very easy things for young horses, and then a level, the next level, and then the next level. And I discovered it was so easy. If I only focused on the fundamentals, it was everything was easy. It was just naturally flowing and coming and developing and going forward. There was no limit. And at a certain point, I arrived to a medium level. It was like, hey, I never did this level of competitions before. I never thought I was able to do this. And I was like, more than I ever thought was possible. And I did everything on my own, just copying what the best in the world did. So it was so easy. Yeah, a lot easier than I thought. The difficult part is only the mental part, because so many times you have to just trust the process, and accept that nothing is perfect meanwhile, because progress is not made of perfection. Progress is made of all the time trying again and again, and really accepting the thing that things are not perfect yet, and they will never be, because you always point at a new level, so it will never be perfect. You always will have a next level you want to reach, and so some things are still not the way they should be one day, but it's completely normal. And you have a lot of knowledge at a certain point, but you have to learn to implement this knowledge, and the horse also. So it's all a matter of learning together, understanding the steps, understanding the time this takes to arrive there together, all the time together, in the good moments and in the bad moments. You never can work against the horse. This doesn't make sense. The horse has to become your partner, and really the communication has no the connection has to be so strong that he really gives everything to you. And people then started to ride my horses sometimes, and they said, other trainers and professionals, those who were at a certain point, I was on the same level with them without becoming a professional. I was the same person as before, the same easy person. I never did some, I don't know, courses to become someone. I just am this little normal person who decided I want to learn how to train my horses on my own. And as I did this, I had, at a certain point, I had an advantage, and I was like talking the same language to the biggest professionals in the world. And they understood me, and they were really respecting me. Also, the judges, international judges who saw my young horses, and they really told me I did a great work with them. They appreciated the horses. And I was like, huh? I became a professional without even knowing it. So this was amazing. And people, then other trainers started to ride my horses and always told me, this is one thing they always tell me, is your horses are so easy to ride. How do you do this? Or most of them tell me, oh, you're so lucky. No, it's not being lucky. It's having solid foundations. It's letting them time to develop. It's the secret sauce. Okay, it's nothing amazing, nothing, I don't know, mystical or so difficult to understand. It's just letting him time or her time to develop. And then he will understand and he will be with me all the time. And then things are very easy, even outside, even in new places. And so, as it worked with my horses, and as other people noticed that it really was something big, so they gave me their horses, I started training them, and then I started training other people's horses, like retraining them or helping them to train them because they had some issues. And I discovered that it doesn't make sense that I train your horse and then I give you your horse back and the problems are back like in a few weeks because you have learned nothing. I mean, it's not, the horse is never a problem. The horse doesn't have problems without you. So it's when we come that the problems start. So I wanted to work with the person together and really teach the person how to train the horse properly on their own at home without me. So at the beginning, I started to try and work with people together, but then I really shifted and I wanted to reach a lot more people because I think it's more like a mission. I need to do this to help a lot of people and a lot of horses. There are so many great potential out there, and there are so many people who really want to know how to do things, and nobody trusts them, and nobody believes in them, and all they hear is, oh, you can never do this. You're not a professional. Come on, what is this? It's not true. I can tell you from experience. So you can do everything you want. It's just you have to learn how. And yeah, this is why I started my mission here, to reach really a lot of people with a lot of horses and who want to learn how to do things properly and really train or retrain horses, because it's not only when they have to learn things, it's also when we have problems with horses. Because guess what? What I discovered and what the judges and what the trainers and what everyone in the world confirmed was there are no bad horses out there. All the problems we have are always due to problems, to things that were skipped or done very superficially in the basic training. So what I do is helping people really closing those gaps and redoing the whole basic training to eliminate all the reasons where the problems start, where the problems come from. And if we eliminate the roots of those problems, the problems disappear magically without even focusing on the problems too much. We just retrain the whole thing from the beginning. And when you learn to train a horse, so as a real professional horse trainer does, so from the beginning, even if your horse is already a champion, it doesn't matter. I always start from the beginning again to really test, okay, is this working? Yeah. Is this working? Yeah. Is this, oh no, there's a problem. Okay, then I have to go a step back and work more until I can do this. Okay, is this working? Then we go forward. If it's not working, we go back. And I do it like this all the time with every horse in every discipline and every level, it doesn't matter. When you learn to train a horse like this, like a young horse, you really discover the secret of everything. Because it's through the horse training that I learned to ride better. I mean, I was not a perfect rider before this. I had so many things. I hated sitting trot. And I don't know, my elbows were like this. And I had so many things. People always told me, I don't know, sit more with the shoulders open and then do this and do that. And I had a lot of issues with my seat and with my aids. But when I learned to train the horses, it all started to make sense. At a certain point, my leg had to be in a certain way in order to communicate the right way, the right thing. And if I had to teach the horse, I had to be perfect before. So I learned to ride while I learned training the horses. So the horses trained me. It's a little bit strange, but this was a very practical approach and maybe a little longer approach, and it takes time to arrive to the medium level or even more. But it's such a true path. It's such an amazing journey. And if you go through this whole process and you become a really conscious, a completely conscious writer, everything becomes so clear and so logical that you will never feel frustrated again. Never. I can guarantee this. Because you will learn to have a complete different approach, a complete different mindset. You will see the whole thing from a different point of view. Very scientific, and not judging yourself bad when things don't work, because you understand why they don't work. And so you know exactly what to do to overcome these things. So everything becomes so logical and so without stress. It's so beautiful to write in that conscious way. And now my mission is to really give this to the world and teach people what I learned from the horses, and making people their own horse trainers. If you're curious and if you want to know more about this, or if you're in the same situation like I was, if you have a horse and want to train it on your own and nobody believes in you, then please let me know in the comments. And I will soon make available here under this video in the description a survey that you can fill out for free and send me. And I will answer you with a personal video for you, and just to, analyze a little bit your situation, and maybe I can give you some advice and some practical steps, the next steps to do, and what I would do, just to tell you what I would do if I were you in your situation. I'm just researching a little bit and trying to find out what people are most struggling with and how I can help. Thank you for listening so much, and see you in the next video.